We're going to go through today what we call the Hsl method. The Hsl method. This, some of us, if you've been with us for a minute, you know what the Hsl method is. And the reason that this is important is because this is literally the framework that I use. And you can use this framework for doing videos online, for any type of video. So you might see me writing on a whiteboard, writing on a sheet of paper, doing a video when I'm walking and talking, regardless of how I do the video, whether it's on my face, whether it's not on my face, whether I'm being interviewed, whatever it is, the framework that's running in my mind is the Hsl method. You want to do a video, the easiest thing you can do is hook, story, lesson. You could do hook, story, lesson. This could be 60 seconds. This could be 5 minutes. This could be an hour. The only difference is in terms of, hey, coach, well, how can you use the same framework from 60 seconds to 60 minutes? Because maybe the hook is shorter, but you can give more context to what you mean when you say a hook, meaning a hook is what's going to catch somebody's attention. If you want to think about a hook, think about a headline, right? An attractive headline is a hook. Now, how do you know what to make the hook on? Before you go through the Hsl method, and maybe I should have put this as like what you should know, but you need to have what's a good way? You need to have a principle. Meaning your principle, and I could put principle maybe / topic. So for example, when you go through the playbook, right? You know how we say list your 12 topics inside of the playbook? So you can easily take one of those topics or one of those principles and use those as the principle to or as the topic of a video. Does that make sense, right? So let's say if you're helping men, if you are a life coach, if you helping people with career, basketball, business, women, trauma, whatever it is, right? Whatever your topic is, and obviously keep your audience in mind, but from a topic perspective, you just put whatever the topic is. So guess what? If I work with coaches, right? So what I know, a topic that I could focus on is easy. It's so many things to focus on, but I could say, let's focus on pricing, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, so the principle is gonna be pricing. Okay, so what is my hook gonna be to capture people's attention? So write this down. So actually, I want us to go through this together. So write down what your topic or your principle is gonna be. Write that down. It should be one of your top 12 that you teach on, or a derivative of that. Your top 12 is kind of like the larger pieces to it, but what's a derivative of that? Right? Coach, what do you mean derivative? Specifically, if I'm saying one of the big chunks of running a successful coaching business is structuring your coaching program. Now, I could easily talk about how to structure it. That's like the macro. But digging down, there's so many different parts of your business that you can structure. I could talk about pricing. I could talk about choosing a niche audience, right? So many different things. I could talk about coming up with the name of your program. I could talk about how to create your speech. I could talk about your sales script. There's so many different areas I can focus on, right? That's what I mean when I say derivative, right? But let's just say pricing for me. So do we have it down? You have what your topic is down, what your topic is, right? Do we have it? All right. So now that you have that, the next thing is, what is a hook that you can use just to make it easy for everybody? Do a how-to. That's easy. So the how-to that I can do for pricing right? Oh, you know what? Actually, I want to change it for me. Actually, I want to change mine just because I want to make it relevant to a story that I'm gonna tell, right? So like, actually, since I just did imposter syndrome, let's talk about imposter syndrome, right? So let's say that's for me, right? Because I know a lot of new coaches go through that. So I can do, so my hook could be how to cure imposter syndrome. So take a second right now, take 20 seconds and write down what is the hook. Do a how-to hook and put the hook in the chat. How-to hook and put the hook inside of the chat. And then we'll kind of rattle off a couple. Howard says how to create a coaching business marketing plan. Yep. How to start up your coaching business with $0. Let's go. That sounds sexy right there. That sounds like, hold on, how do I do that with $0? I need to know how to do that. Marcy says how to secure your next position earning 20K or more. Nice. Let's go. You see how it makes it instantly that more interesting? How-tos is phenomenal. Who else got some how-tos? Throw it in the chat. Valerie says how to buy property without using money. Good. Who else? How to address negative feelings. Good. How to release resentment. Good. How to calm down by singing a song. Good. Love it. Love it. By the way, Deshante, don't be afraid to sing in some of your videos. Maybe that can be one of your differentiators, right? So don't be afraid to like do that. And Marcy, I think we got a couple people in the waiting room too. Halisi, how to speak truth authentically, how to keep air in your chest and not your whistle. Nice. Let's go. How to build your self-esteem by practicing self-care. Love it. Good. How to be consistent. Love it. All right. So now we got the hook. Story. You want to say a short story that's around that. It could be your story. It can be a story of somebody that you work with. And I don't know who that is, but just go on mute for me if you're not on mute. So a story, right? So how to cure imposter syndrome, and then a story around that, right? So we can just put the label of what the story is. Just put the label of what it is. If you got this label in your mind. So for me, I'm gonna talk about the time that I had nobody. I'm gonna call it failed webinar. Right? Failed webinar. Some of you might know this story. Failed webinar. Put the topic, put the label of what the story you're thinking of. So we just mentioned a bunch of different hooks. What is a story that you've went through or that you helped somebody through or help somebody with or know somebody went through, even if it's not yours or a client's? Put the topic, put down what the topic of the story is, and then put that in the chat. So I did a webinar that failed miserably. It's terrible. And I felt like it was me. I felt like something was wrong with me. There's a plot twist. I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. All right, what we got? So put the topic. So let's not make money your excuse to escape from your pain. Yep. What's the name? What's the topic of the story? The call. Yep. The call I wish I never made. Almost missed out on an additional 10K. Yep. So don't write out the story right now. Just give it, and you just making up a topic, right? You know, of whatever the story is. Just make it up. It's whatever you can use that's gonna trigger you to. That's gonna trigger the story. Your strength is already in you. Good. Love it. All right. So make sure you write the story down, and then the lesson. And then what is the lesson to take away? What is the lesson? Right? What is the lesson? What is the lesson? My lesson that was in the story was my takeaway was It's not me. It's having a proven strategy. It's not me. It's having a proven strategy. That just happened to rhyme. It don't got to rhyme, of course. It's